think of it, a lot of these startups wouldn't have managed to scale up if it wasn't for the right mentor. And that's exactly what we're going to focus on in this week's Bootstrap. Surabhi Goel is here then to tell us how to go about finding the right mentor.
Starting up on your own can be a lonely affair. The best person to help you tide over these lonely times, a mentor. Preferably the one who's been there, done that, succeeded, failed, and gotten up again. But how do you ensure that you pick the right one who helps you in your business? And more importantly, where can you find him?
First place to start is to go somewhere go to somebody if you know somebody. If you don't, then there are very good platforms available. The Indian Angel Network is very good. There is for college students it could be the NEN type of places which connect industry.
Now mentors generally have tight schedules. So once you find a good one, it's important to value their time. So how do you derive maximum value for yourself in limited periods of time? Here are some tips from entrepreneurs who succeeded in past.
Mentors we had at SlideShare were very helpful to us in terms of product direction. Whenever we were building a feature or we were designing the product specs, we used to ask them, call them up and say, hey, this is what we are doing, why don't you tell us? The second thing where I feel the mentors were useful was in terms of industry contacts. They introduced us to the venture capitalists eventually, and also in terms of industry experts like search engine experts and usability experts. So some of those contacts did come through us initially through our mentors.
If you see great value in the relationship you and your mentor share, it makes sense to formalize the relationship. And it could include offering stretch equity in your startup to a mentor, or sometimes mentors themselves investing in your startup. Now this could be a tricky issue, and hence it needs to be handled with care.
It's a simple case of discussing the terms and conditions of the engagement. You need to really look at it from several aspects. One is what are you getting from the mentor? Can you document amongst each other and agree on the time commitment that the mentor is going to spend, the deliverables that the mentor is going to have. One should not be shy or scared to have this conversation and to be very demanding on the mentors and to make sure that they're absolutely committed to providing that. The second is, what is it worth from a compensation perspective? That's always the trickiest one, because as a startup you're obviously trying to conserve cash, and oftentimes one says, fine, I'll give you X percentage of equity in the company. It's very important to note that the mentors are not doing this for the equity. They are doing this because they are really passionate about working with young startups and entrepreneurs. Assign a value to the time the mentor is spending with you, and then put it together initially in a simple email, agree on it, but ideally have it in a proper employment type of an agreement, like a consulting agreement.
Starting your venture without a mentor's guiding is like driving a car in a new city without a map. You might eventually reach your destination, but travel the same journey with a mentor and you'll reach safer, faster, and with much more fuel in your tank.
With that, we've come to the end of this episode. But hey, before we go, remember, we've got one more slot left on our Super Angel series. And if you're up for a challenge, go ahead, write into us on startingup@etnow.tv. You can send us an SMS or simply find us on Facebook. We'll say goodbye, but before we go, as we say every week, remember, there's never a better time than now to go out there and start up.